The whispering forest. Deep in the heart of the mountains, there was a forest unlike any other. It was called the Whispering Forest because when the wind blew through its ancient trees, it carried voices, soft murmurs of secrets, dreams, and warnings. The villagers living nearby avoided it, claiming the forest was haunted. But to those who listened closely, it was said the whispers held answers to life's most difficult questions. One cold evening, a young man named Daniel stood at the edge of the forest. He had lost everything: a failed business, broken friendships, and a heavy heart from years of disappointment. With nowhere else to go, he stared into the dark canopy of trees, where moonlight barely reached. "They say the forest speaks the truth," Daniel murmured to himself. "What more do I have to lose?" And so, he stepped into the shadows. The air inside the forest was cool and damp, carrying a faint melodic rustling. At first, it was just the sound of leaves moving in the wind, but soon the murmurs began. They were soft, almost indistinguishable. But as Daniel moved deeper, they became clearer. "Why have you come?" the whispers asked. Daniel hesitated. I don't know," he admitted. "Maybe I'm looking for answers, or maybe I'm just running away." The trees swayed gently, as if nodding. "You will find only what you bring with you," the forest replied. "But beware. Truth is not always kind." Determined, Daniel continued walking. The forest seemed to shift around him, its paths winding and changing, guiding him towards something unseen. The whispers grew louder, more distinct. First, he came to a clearing where a tree with golden leaves stood alone. Its trunk was smooth and its branches stretched high into the sky. As Daniel approached, he noticed the leaves reflected images, moments from his childhood. He saw himself laughing with his parents, running through fields, and dreaming of the future. "You once knew joy," the forest whispered. "Why did you leave it behind?" Daniel clenched his fists. "Because life isn't kind. Dreams don't always come true." The golden tree shimmered, its leaves trembling. Dreams are not meant to be fulfilled. They are meant to guide. Before Daniel could respond, the whispers led him onward. He entered a darker part of the forest, where the trees seemed gnarled and twisted, their branches like skeletal fingers. In the center of this gloom stood a large mirror, cracked but still reflecting his image. Daniel stepped closer and saw not just his face, but his failures. Every mistake, every missed opportunity, every hurtful word he'd ever spoken was etched into the reflection. He stumbled back, shaking his head. "I can't bear this," he said. The forest murmured, "The truth is heavy, but it is yours. Will you carry it, or will you leave it behind?" Daniel closed his eyes, feeling the weight of guilt pressing on his chest. "How can I leave it behind? It's part of me." The mirror's cracks began to glow faintly. "Then learn from it. Let it shape you, but do not let it consume you." With a deep breath, Daniel nodded. The whispers softened, as if satisfied, and the path ahead brightened. He followed it, emerging into a final clearing where a simple stone fountain bubbled with clear, sparkling water. The whispers hushed, leaving only the gentle sound of flowing water. Daniel knelt and drank from the fountain. The water was cool and refreshing, filling him with a sense of peace he hadn't felt in years. He looked into the water and saw his reflection. Not the broken man he had been, but someone stronger, wiser, and ready to face the world. The forest whispered one last time, "You sought answers, but you found yourself. Go and carry what you have learned." When Daniel stepped out of the forest, the first rays of dawn were breaking over the mountains. The world looked different, brighter, full of possibility. He turned back to the forest and smiled. "Thank you," he whispered, and the trees swayed as if they'd heard. May your own journey through life's forests bring you clarity and strength.